Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. To the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind...
Welcome to the Dan and Dave Mindset. My name's Dan.
How you doing? I'm Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Every day I go on to MSNBC.com just like to catch up on
I did not know that you did that.
I do. Just to catch up on the usual stuff, and most of the time they are, as most media, are hooked on the usual stuff, like the big...
A lot of doom and gloom
and then they stay with it. From my perspective, usually mainstream media is always looking for the doom and gloom because apparently they think it sells or whatever, and apparently it does. Anyway, though, so I go on there just to keep up to date because worldwide stuff, and I just want to have a clue what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But I also look for the tiny little things that are pretty interesting, weird stuff or whatever like that they happen to toss in there. So,
Example
was the one that I told you about tonight, and
I've got it right here.
That's right. I'll let you read it, and then we'll see what people think. Well, we'll say what we think, and others can chime in as well.
That would be lovely if they did, because honestly, sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall here.
Because like we both discussed, we don't want to talk about like I said, the doom and gloom, because
there's already enough people doing that.
That's done enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, here, this is an article written by Maggie Fox. She's a senior writer for NBC News. So this is from NBCnews.com. You'll find the link somewhere in our post, probably in a comment underneath. Name of the article: Number 1 swimming pool problem? It's number 2.
And if you haven't gotten it yet, you're going to get it.
Yeah. You will get it shortly. People always worry about pee in the pool. But number 2 is the number 1 health problem. Yeah, government health experts say. They found plenty of evidence that someone's pooping in the pool.
That's,
Dave, you ever pooped in the pool? Have you ever pooped underwater? With any part of your body underwater? A toe, even.
A toe?
Yeah, you're less dipping it in, checking
I
out.
have not, and this is as soon as I read this, it cracked me up because for the obvious reason. But it's hard enough to get away with peeing in the pool, and I'm not gonna say we have all.
What do you mean it's hard enough to get away with it? Have you tried to get away with it before?
I'm not gonna say we have all done it, but come on, many people have done it.
I peed in a lake.
Right.
But I was 9 and I was told to by an adult. Because we were in the middle of the lake and I had to pee and he just said dilution is the solution.
Say that again?
Dilution is the solution.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, as an adult now, I realize that that's not really true. If everybody felt that way, then half of the water in the lake would be pee.
I've peed in the pool. I admit it.
What?
I've done it. I mean, you're sitting there swimming in the pool. I mean, as you. I mean, it wasn't like yesterday, but I mean, it was like last year. Or,
what?
No, but
at the Nugents.
Right. But I mean, I started getting paranoid after a while because everybody, people say that they put that stuff in the pool. Where
I gotta stop peeing in the pool. Everybody's like, it's warm over here. There's a warm spot.
No,
is that what the warm spot is every time I'm swimming?
No, they said they put this thing in the pool where it turned a different color, like purple or whatever.
Yeah, they call it We See.
It's a real thing.
No, that's the made-up name I heard for it one time.
Okay,
and I thought it was clever.
I mean, I thought it was real. Maybe it is, or
it might be real. But
I saw a YouTube video where somebody actually peed in the pool and it
they
turned a different color around or
release
whatever.
a packet of food coloring or something.
But to sit there and
no
pull your pants down and poop in a pool,
Because presumably you would do that, right? You wouldn't just,
Well, how else you gonna do it?
I don't know,
Like poop and then like
just kind of shuffle it out of the,
Yeah.
the little shorts legs.
Right. do the truffle shuffle and
That's
work it out the
that's-
seams of the pants or what?
All right. So I'm sorry. When did you pee in the pool last?
Many, many, many years ago.
Are we in the 80s at least?
Sure.
That late?
What do you mean that late?
That. Okay. Anyway, on to the second paragraph. It's not only disgusting, but it's evidence that people are not following basic hygiene rules, says Michelle Hlavsa, chief of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Healthy Swimming Program.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe I'm ignorant, but what does this have to do with hygiene?
I think it's, like, you remember the plague?
No, I don't. I've
You've
heard
heard of
about
it.
it.
In history. You remember hearing of it
Right.
in history,
You
right?
realize that there's history and there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. A big cause of that was the incorrect removal of bodily waste. Apparently, it was just they had no sewer systems going well, so disease was
Right.
rampant.
Okay.
And so it becomes a hygiene issue at that point when you don't properly dispose of your waste.
Okay, so I guess again, my ignorance. I always thought hygiene was like a personal care
Yeah,
of your
well,
body.
I mean, after you poop, what do? You wipe, Dave. And if you poop in a pool, well, that toilet paper is just going to crumble up.
Once you poop in a pool, wiping you have.
Is it self-cleaning? If you're
wiping,
pooping directly in the
wiping
water?
is the last thing on your mind. Am I wrong?
I think pooping in the pool is the last thing on my mind usually, but
But after if you happen to poop in a pool, I don't think wiping's an issue.
I'm pretty much
If you poop in a pool, I don't think hygiene is obvious. Whatever. Go
obviously not that important to you. Like if I ever accidentally poop in a pool, I'm going
Wait,
to.
wait. How do you actually?
I don't know. I can't actually imagine a scenario where this happens. But if somehow I pooped in a pool, the very next thing I would be doing is trying to get away from that entire area and maybe the entire city that pool is in as quickly and as discreetly as possible, so that nobody ever knows it was me.
Yeah. If I feel a poop coming out, I'm not gonna hang out and say, "Hey, let me."
Yeah, I don't have to go that bad. I'm gonna do a cannonball.
That's right.
I'm having so much fun swimming. I really can't stop to poop right now.
See, as a kid, I could see that. It's like when you're like, let's say 8 years old, and you're out in the winter, you're out playing in the snow, and you're like, your fingers are turning blue. You're about to lose them to
Did
like.
you- Did you poop your pants when you were 8 years old out in the snow?
That's not what I'm saying. Okay. All right. I'm just saying, dude, as a kid, you don't. This thought doesn't go through your mind.
Well,
Like my fingers turning blue, and I might have to get them cut off. That's okay. I'm
Right.
having such a good time out here.
yeah,
So if you're playing in a pool,
I guess, but
and
yeah,
you're about to.
I have always, once potty trained. I mean, maybe there was an instant, an incident or two afterwards. We'd have to ask my mother to be sure. But they would have been shortly after I was potty trained. I never really had an issue.
Accidents.
Yeah, I've always pooped in a toilet, basically, is what my point is.
Mm.
I mean, I have the grace period from birth to whenever I was potty trained, which we all have.
Mm-hmm.
And then after
it's
that,
okay.
right? There's
An accident is
there's that
okay.
period of time where it's okay. But since then, it's been
acceptable-
toilets
it's
for me.
acceptable behavior.
Yeah, like he pooped his pants.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's cute enough, I guess. He has no control. So, all right. How many times have we said the word poop by now? By the way,
Poop's okay.
I know, but
Everybody poops.
All right, so she goes on to say, Michelle Hlavsa, it is time to
Wait,
stop.
how's that spelled?
It's spelled Hlavsa. I'm doing the best I can. I scanned through this earlier, and there's a few words here that I'm going to butcher. So
Is there a vowel in there?
there's two A's.
I didn't hear it.
It is time to stop treating the swimming pool as a toilet.
Really?
Hlafsa told NBC News, because this is an epidemic. Nowhere else except for the pool is it acceptable to poop in public or pee in public. I don't know that it's even acceptable in the pool, but okay. In other places, if we did this in public, we'd be arrested. I mean, that's true. And then you would also be a sex offender.
That's right.
Anyway, CDC and county health officials tested the pools in 4 Florida counties last summer for the study.
What's CDC, by the way?
That's the Center for Disease Control.
Okay.
They got water out of the pool filters and ran tests for microbes, especially E. coli, which lives inside the bodies of animals and which is carried in feces. If E. coli is somewhere, it's likely got there via feces. E. coli, a fecal indicator, was detected in 93 samples. That's 58% of the samples they took. Detection signifies that swimmers introduced fecal material into pool water, Hlafsa's team wrote in CDC's weekly report on disease and death.
So this is like public pools? Or...
Yeah, I believe these are public pools.
This is Florida.
Florida, yep. And 4 counties in Florida. It doesn't mention the counties yet. We don't know how it got in there. It either washed off somebody's body, or somebody had a bowel movement in the pool, Hlafsa said. Oh, I guess those are really the 2 options.
I have a couple thoughts on this.
All right.
One is, what's chlorine for?
Well, apparently it's not for killing E. coli.
But I thought chlorine was like
It's for algae.
the man. Like, as far as, like, taking care of all that kind of stuff. That
I'm pretty sure it
goes
just
down.
kills algae and makes your eyes red.
If you open your eyes, yeah.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Get splashed in the face by some rambunctious fellow swimmer. Regular bowel movements, what the CDC delicately refers to as a formed fecal incident. Okay. Formed, yeah, all right. So, incident. Like, oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Formed fecal incidents are not so much a worry. But diarrhea is. Diarrhea carries the germs that cause the illness right into the water, and the chlorine doesn't kill it instantly. So there you go.
Chlorine, yeah.
So
we go.
chlorine is the man, but a
Not-
lazy, slow-working man.
Not with the diarrhea.
Not so much with the diarrhea. The good news is that there were no reports of sickness outbreaks at any of the pools tested last summer, or anywhere else in Florida last summer, for that matter. But every year, there are between 20 and 80 disease outbreaks associated with public pools. And those are just the ones that get reported, Hlafsa says. The other piece of good news is that there weren't too many other pathogens in the pools. Well, good. So just some E. coli. That's a relief. Only one sample of Cryptosporidium, a common cause of diarrhea, showed up. 2 samples of a parasite called Giardia, I don't know, were found. That one can cause a very uncomfortable stomach upset. Viruses such as adenovirus, which causes colds, and norovirus, which causes stomach flu, can survive in swimming pools. Norovirus is one bad mother.
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure I had it once.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Do you know?
I don't know how I got it, actually. I wasn't swimming.
That's a stomach thing?
Yeah. It was like, it was the most violently ill I think I'd ever been. From like, I was throwing up like every 20 minutes for like 8 to 12 hours.
Like, for how long?
Like, I would just empty whatever I had
Like-
and then dry heave for a while. No, for like 8 to 12 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought
And
you
then-
meant like...
No, for those were 8 to 12 hours of like throwing up hell.
Okay.
And then like a day's worth of various incidents.
So, like, yeah, I've had those.
Yeah, but man, like I would just it hurt to drink like water even, like as it entered my stomach, it was painful
Really?
a little bit. And if I didn't do it, then when the next time I came along to like throwing up, I was just like dry heaving horribly, just retching for like 2 or 3 minutes. like uncontrollably.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not good. The E. coli in the pool didn't necessarily come from a bowel movement, Hlefsa said, and this is why it's important to actually.
So first of all, she's saying this is all about crapping in the pool, and now she's saying, maybe not.
Could have come from somewhere else, maybe.
That's right.
This is why
birds, they fly over.
Yeah, and they've got the E. coli and the bird flu, and they're just dropping it off in the pool. It didn't necessarily come from a bowel movement, and this is why it's important to actually obey the signs that virtually everyone ignores about showering before going into the pool.
What is the chlorine for? I'm serious.
Well, maybe it's like you think about like hundreds of people coming in, I guess. I don't know. I've never really been to a public pool that was popular enough that I think this would be an issue.
When I was younger, there was because where I was from, there wasn't like people didn't have pools.
Yeah.
So we all there was this one place called Shamora.
Huh. How's that spelled?
Shamora.
All right. Carry on.
Anyway, so it was up in the mountains, and
The mountains of Massachusetts?
Holyoke, yeah. Mount Tom, actually.
Mount Tom?
Mount Tom.
Okay.
Anyway, so we would, because there was actually it wasn't Mount Tom. Anyway, yeah, it was anyway. So, me and my friends would like walk up, like we'd have to go up and like basically hike up over the highway and stuff like that, take our towels and whatever, and go up to this pool. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't say everybody, but it was pretty packed. It had like a high dive, low dive board, and blah 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 blah. And I don't recall anybody getting sick.
Oh, well, that's good.
There were some sketchy people in that pool.
Were
I'll
there?
tell you that.
A lot of drug
And
addicts.
I think probably the only time I've seen people shower was when they got out of the pool.
I always showered
to wash
after.
the chlorine off.
I was
It's
watching.
like when you go to the beach and you wash. They got the showers like
Yeah.
right off the beach, and
So you got all
wash
that
the salt-
sand
to
everywhere.
get the salt to get the salt off.
Oh, yeah. I only been to the ocean that one time.
Yeah. So,
They don't have
like if
that
you go to
lakes.
like New Hampshire and stuff like that, they got the
New
showers
Hampshire?
to get rid of all the salt
Uh-huh.
because it dries it gets wicked itchy. It dries your skin out. So
Okay, so after talking about everybody, virtually everyone ignoring the showering before going into the pool sign, the average person has about 0.14 grams of feces on their rear end, Hlefsa said.
for a second there, I thought you said laughs.
What?
Laughs.
No.
Laughs, I said.
Oh, yeah. If that rinses off into the water, the amount from one person might not be that much, but as more and more swimmers introduce it that much, it does become an issue. She's actually done the math. It says, let's imagine 1,000 kids go to a water park. They have as much as 10 grams of feces on their rear ends, she said.
Each?
I think that's total. We're not talking about... Wait a minute. Oh, no, 10 grams each, as much as 10 grams each. We're not talking about 10,000 grams or 10 kilograms. That translates to 24 pounds of poop in the water.
Wow.
Yeah. So one important rule, never swallow the water from a swimming pool.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always loved doing that.
It's refreshing, you're tired from
right?
swimming.
All that chlorine.
Yeah. Basically, these pools are big bathtubs we all share together, Hlefsa said. She doesn't want to scare anyone away from swimming, which is, after all, a great way to exercise. As soon as the weather gets warm enough here in Atlanta, I plan to swim, Hlefsa said.
In my own private pool.
Yeah. And that's the end of the article.
Wow.
So-
She's not trying to scare it. What?
No, but the 24 pounds of poop in the water might scare you a little bit.
But you still got to do it.
You just gotta go swimming anyway. You know, it's all in little pieces,
Well,
microscopic.
But this is also Florida, with many elderly people.
Dave.
What?
What? I don't know. What are you saying?
It's a legitimate observation.
She was talking about, and you know, and I think it's important to point out that she was creating a worst case scenario here,
I
where
don't think so.
where 1,000 kids had the maximum amount of feces on their rear ends.
Which is what freaks people out. Always
Right.
the worst
She said
case
the
scenario.
average person has 0.14 grams. That is almost nothing. But she's saying these kids had as much as 10 grams, and so she created the 10,000
But
grams.
I like the way you say the worst case scenario, because that always cracks me up.
What?
The worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is
Well, yeah.
we're all going to be dead.
We're all going to die.
We're all going to be dead, so anything
Yeah.
less than that,
Yeah,
be
basically,
thankful.
every day, worst case scenario, when I walk out that door, the awning on top of the building falls down on me and I die. That is the most immediate worst case scenario as soon as I leave this apartment.
In your
Actually-
in your head? That's it?
Yeah, I think about that all the time, yeah. It's hard for me to get out of the house,
That keeps you going?
Yeah.
If I make
But-
it through this,
Yeah. Actually,
it's all good.
right before that, there's the worst case scenario that I slip and fall down the stairs and break my head open or break my neck
I've
or
noticed
something.
you have an issue with stairs.
I don't have an issue with stairs. I have an issue with the rickety stairs behind my building that in the winter are ridiculously slippery, and that I almost fell down once,
Right.
and that actually a lady that lives here did fall down once and had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
So that's legit, I think. And then in the summer, there's a giant bumblebee that lives out there. So,
A giant what?
bumblebee. It buzzes me. I don't like to be buzzed. When I'm on, especially when I'm on rickety stairs, I got nowhere to
He
go.
buzzed me. He buzzed me.
So, yeah, whatever.
All right.
All right, well, this has been a very special second episode of the new format of the Dan and Dave Mindset. My name's Dan.
I'm Dave. Peace.